The mother and husband are kissing each other, and the architect sees them. The wife comes and asks, "Why did you come here?" The husband says, "I need money for my mother's medicine." The wife goes to the architect and says, "I need an advance salary for my mother's medicine." The architect gives her the money. The wife goes back to the husband and gives him the money. The husband pushes the mother's wheelchair and leaves. The next day, when the wife was about to start work, the architect comes and says, "Because I was busy yesterday, I couldn't talk to you. Yesterday, I saw your husband and mother kissing each other." The wife says, "That's not possible. I can't listen to anything bad about my family. Enough. I resign right now." She leaves. A few moments later, the sound of the door is heard. They quickly put on their clothes and sit down. The wife enters and says, "How are you two?" The mother says, "How did you come so early? Did you quit your job?" The wife picks up the mother's bra from the floor and says, "What's this?" The mother says, "Actually, I was washing clothes and it must have fallen here." The wife says, "No problem. I'll put it in the washing machine." She leaves. The husband says, "Convince her to go back to work." The mother says, "My daughter never listens to me." The wife comes and says, "I'm going back to work only for you two." She leaves. The next day, the wife was at the dining table and scratching intensely. The mother asks, "Why are you scratching so much?" The wife says, "I've got rashes and itching." The husband says, "Apply cream immediately." A few hours later, the wife comes with a report and says, "I don't know how to tell you. My HIV test came back positive." The husband says, "That means mine is positive too? Am I going to die?" At that moment, the doorbell rings. The wife goes to open the door. The husband says, "I have HIV too." The mother says, "You've infected me as well." The wife and a woman enter. The mother says, "Doctor, check me too. I must be infected." The mother gets up from the wheelchair. The wife says, "Mother, you can walk." The mother says, "Yes, I deceived you. Many years ago." The mother pushes her out of the house. The next movement, the wife comes and asks, "Can I get a job here?" The architect says, "If you work well, you'll keep the job permanently. Otherwise, you'll have to leave." The wife says, "Sir, I will work hard." The architect says, "Put your things aside and start working." The wife starts working. Many years later, the wife gives money to her husband and says, "Spend carefully and find a job for yourself." The husband says, "I'll find one soon." The wife leaves. Moments later, the bell rings. The husband opens the door. A woman says, "I'm your wife's mother." The mother enters and says, "My daughter's house and husband are both beautiful." The husband says, "You treated her badly. She won't let you stay here now." The mother says, "If I pretend to be sick, she'll pity me. Then we'll be together all day at home." The mother says, "Since that time, I've been your lover." The husband says, "Darling, your mother is lying. Don't believe her." The wife says, "You both are deceiving me. These rashes are not from illness. They are marks made with a pencil. This woman is not a doctor. She's a lawyer and the perfect witness to your confession." A few days earlier, the wife comes home and sees through the window that her husband and mother are being intimate. The wife says, "The architect was right. I must apologize to him for my behavior." The wife goes back to the architect and says, "Forgive me. You were right." The architect says, "No need to apologize. I just want to help you." The wife says, "I want a divorce now." The architect says, "Let's consult my lawyer friend." The next movement, the architect comes. The wife says, "With the lawyer's help, we've got your confession." The mother says, "Forgive me." The husband begs, "I made a mistake. Forgive me." The wife says, "I don't need your apologies." The lawyer says, "Leave here now or we'll call the police." The mother and husband leave. The wife thanks the architect for showing her the truth.